If you've spent any time near an aquarium, you might have seen one of these. With their frilly red crowns, tiny dark eyes, and a mouth locked in a perpetual smile, they look like a cartoon character brought to life. But that cute exterior hides a strange biological reality. This animal exists in a state of permanent infancy. It has the ability to completely regrow its own brain tissue, and right now it is quietly disappearing from the face of the earth. This chart shows the typical amphibian life cycle. Frogs start in water as eggs and larvae, then undergo metamorphosis to develop lungs and walk on land. The axolotl simply hits pause. Through a process called neoteny, it skips metamorphosis entirely. Because it stops developing right here, permanently locked in the larval stage, it keeps those external, feathery gills branching off its neck. It never develops the physical tools needed to survive on dry ground, meaning it spends its entire life fully submerged. Refusing to grow up presents an obvious problem. For most species, the larval stage is highly vulnerable. To survive in the wild, this creature had to figure out how to thrive as a permanent adolescent. You might look at that tiny smile and assume it nibbles on algae. In reality, the axolotl is a remarkably efficient, strict carnivore. Since it doesn't have teeth designed for chewing, it relies entirely on physics. When a worm or small fish gets too close, the axolotl suddenly drops its jaw. This creates an intense underwater vacuum, sucking the prey directly into its mouth in a fraction of a second. It executes this hunting strategy in the dark. During the day, it buries itself in the mud to rest. At night, it patrols the lakebed, using the sensitive filaments on those external gills to detect the faint water vibrations of passing prey. Every physical trait that makes it look like an awkward, unfinished amphibian actually functions as a highly specialized tool. It is a stealth predator perfectly calibrated for the dark. While millions of them sit in sterile glass boxes, their actual home looks like this. The axolotl is native to exactly one place on Earth, the ancient high-altitude canal systems of Lake Xochimilco in Mexico. It evolved to thrive in these specific waters. The lake sits at a high elevation, keeping the temperature cool, while dense trees and aquatic plants heavily shade the muddy, murky bottom where the axolotl prefers to hunt. They are highly solitary animals. Most of their lives are spent completely alone, tucked away in the root systems of aquatic vegetation. They only break cover and seek each other out for the brief purpose of mating. Because their biology is so strictly tailored to the deep shade, cool water, and specific muck of Xochimilco, their entire existence hinges on the health of this one isolated network of waterways. If you tried to find one in those canals, you wouldn't be looking for this bright pink skin. That iconic pale coloring is caused by a genetic mutation called Lewisism. It is incredibly rare in the wild, but heavily selectively bred in captivity. In its natural habitat, a wild axolotl is mostly dark brown or mottled black. That coloring acts as natural camouflage, allowing it to disappear almost entirely against the dark mud of the lakebed. But scientists aren't breeding them for their colors. They are studying them for their biology. Axolotls possess an extreme natural resistance to developing cancerous tumors, a trait that makes them invaluable to medical researchers. This diagram compares a human wound healing on the left with an axolotl on the right. While our bodies form thick scar tissue to close a severe wound, the axolotl seamlessly regrows new bone, muscle, and nerve pathways. It can entirely replace a severed limb, repair a crushed spinal cord, and even rebuild missing pieces of its brain. Those biological traits offer massive potential for human medicine. Because of that, the axolotl is now one of the most widely distributed and aggressively bred laboratory animals in the world. Yet, while millions of them are carefully fed in temperature-controlled labs and living room fish tanks globally, their wild counterparts are collapsing. The ancient canals of Xochimilco are steadily being swallowed up by the rapid urban expansion of Mexico City. Concrete infrastructure is replacing the natural banks, and the introduction of invasive fish species has decimated the axolotl's primary food sources. On top of that, untreated wastewater and heavy metals constantly leach into the remaining waterways. The specific, pristine muck they evolved to hide in is becoming toxic, stripping away their ability to survive. Surveys of the lakebed show a severe population drop. The wild axolotl is now classified as critically endangered. Biologists estimate there are fewer than 1,000 of them left in their native habitat. We have secured their genetics in glass aquariums to study their incredible ability to heal. But the creature that mastered cellular survival over millions of years is currently suffocating in the exact place it calls home.